Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really interesting. A whole stack of sources focused on, well, the nuts and bolts of how we talk about our feelings in English.
That's right. And our mission here isn't just to, list a bunch of vocabulary words.
No.
It's about understanding the grammar behind them, the social context, and really how to apply these feelings in a way that makes sense, especially if you're navigating conversations in English.
Okay, so let's jump right into that. The most foundational point from the material is this distinction between I am and I feel. I can say I am happy or I feel happy, and they sound almost the same.
They do.
But the sources say there's a really key difference. What is it, and why does that matter so much?
It matters for precision. It's actually crucial. When you use the verb feel, so I feel happy, you're almost always talking about right now, your immediate, maybe even temporary experience.
So it's in the moment, it's a reaction to something.
Exactly. It's what you're sensing in this very moment. Now, compare that to I am. You can, of course, say I am happy for right now.
Yeah.
But it can also carry this heavier implication of a longer state, almost like a personality trait. If you say, I am a happy person, that's about your character, your disposition.
That's a fantastic distinction. So if you want to talk about something temporary, like, say, stress from traffic, you lean towards I feel. But if you're talking about something more core to who you are, you'd use I am. That really sets the stage for everything else we're going to talk about.
It gives us a framework, for emotional accuracy.
So with that framework in mind, let's start with the basics, the emotional building blocks. We have that fundamental spectrum, happy and sad.
Right. These are the ones we all know. And the sources note that happy feelings are often tied to really simple pleasures.
Like what?
Eating your favorite food, like pizza, for example, or talking with friends, or that feeling you get when you finish all your work for the day.
Oh, that's a good one. Or that feeling after you finally clean your apartment. It's like a little win.
It's a definite mini win. And on the other side, sadness is often linked to something specific and external, a loss or a disappointment.
Like a rainy day when you wanted to go out.
A rainy day, or having to say goodbye to family, or the classic one the source brought up, watching a sad movie about a lost dog.
Always works.
But what's important here is what the sources emphasized. Feeling sad isn't a bad thing. It's not a flaw. It just means, we care. It shows we value something.
Right. And then closely related to that are the feelings that come directly from our physical state.
Our internal monitoring system.
Exactly. Tired, hungry, thirsty.
These are the first signals we send out. You have tired, which the source describes so well as having heavy eyes when you haven't slept enough.
Yeah.
Or being thirsty. And the material specifically mentioned for coffee, which I found funny. And then, of course, being hungry.
And I loved the detail about intensity here, that you can be a little hungry or you can be very hungry. And when you hit that very hunger level, the source said your brain just stops working. You can't think straight.
And that's such a practical takeaway for you. It's not just discomfort. These physical feelings directly limit how well your mind works.
Yeah.
So when you tell someone you're hungry, you're not just complaining. You're explaining why you can't focus.
Okay, so that covers the foundational sort of steady states. From there, we move into the more dynamic, high-energy emotions. This is where the volume gets turned up.
Absolutely. And on the positive side of that, we have excited. This is described as feeling very, very happy. But the key is that it's about the future. It's anticipation.
The sources had great examples, like being excited before a holiday or before you travel somewhere new.
Or even just planning it. Looking at pictures online of a place you haven't even gone to yet.
Yeah, that anticipation is part of the fun.
And that leads to a really useful phrase, looking forward to. It's a very common, almost polite way to say you're excited. You're looking forward to the weekend, or you're looking forward to, eating pizza later.
Always comes back to pizza. Okay, so now let's flip to the other side of that high energy, the tension. We have nervous and scared. They feel similar, but they're different.
Very different functions. Nervous is more like a worried or unsure anticipation. Like before you have to speak in front of a lot of people, you might even get cold hands.
Right.
But scared is a much stronger warning from your body. It's basically shouting, be careful. The triggers are things like a really loud noise in the middle of the night or walking alone in the dark.
But here's where it got interesting. The sources also use scary movies as an example for being scared, but then noted that can be fun a little. So how does that work? How can a warning system be fun?
That's the paradox of entertainment, isn't it? We get to experience the physical alarm system, the fast heartbeat, the adrenaline, but in a totally safe and controlled environment.
Because you know the danger isn't real.
Exactly. So you get the thrill without the actual threat. It's fun.
That makes perfect sense. And we know feelings aren't simple. The source has made a really important point that excited and nervous can happen at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the first day of school. You're excited to see your friends, but you're also nervous about your new teachers. It's totally fine to say you feel two things at once. It shows self-awareness.
Okay, what about angry? That feeling of frustration. The triggers here were so universal. Being stuck in traffic when you're late.
Or losing your phone and you just can't find it anywhere.
Ugh, the worst.
But because that kind of frustration is just a part of life, the source is really focused on coping mechanisms. Not on stopping the anger, but managing your reaction to it.
Right, we saw the advice. Take a deep breath, count to 10, listen to quiet music. But why do those simple things actually work?
Because anger is a very high energy state. These actions, breathing, counting, they force a pause. They interrupt that immediate emotional reaction and give your rational brain a few seconds to catch up.
It creates a little space.
A space for that self-talk, to tell yourself, it's okay, be patient. That inner dialogue is what turns frustration into patience.
That idea of management is a perfect pivot to our next group. Relaxed versus stressed. These are states that are so dependent on our environment.
For sure. Relaxed is the total opposite of nervous or stressed. It's calm, it's peaceful. The sources gave that ideal image of a Sunday morning with coffee and a book.
Or that feeling after a good workout or a hot shower.
Yes. And its opposite, stressed, comes from having way too much to do and not enough time, like right before a big test or a huge project deadline.
That feeling of being overwhelmed.
Right. And the strategy offered for that was so simple, but so effective. Make a list.
Just write it all down.
Exactly. It works because you're taking the chaos out of your mind where it feels endless and putting it onto paper where it becomes a finite, manageable set of tasks. You're externalizing the stress.
They give structure to the chaos. Okay, let's talk about surprised. The reaction to something unexpected. The material was really careful to split this one up.
It was. Surprises can be good, like getting a gift or your boss telling you good job.
Or they can be bad. The source's example was seeing a spider on the wall.
A very bad surprise, they said. Or, suddenly remembering it's your friend's birthday and you completely forgot. The feeling, good or bad, is all about how unexpected it was.
Then we have a set of feelings that are really tied to our own performance and expectations. Proud is a great one. It's like self-directed happiness.
It is. Proud is that good feeling you get about a success. Getting a good grade, learning a new English word, cooking a really great meal. The source put it perfectly. Feeling proud is like giving yourself a small internal prize. It's self-affirmation.
I love that. An internal prize. So what about when things don't go as planned? We have impatient, which is that feeling of hating to wait in a long line.
And then there's disappointed.
Yeah.
Which is a kind of sadness you feel when something you wanted to happen doesn't. Your picnic gets canceled because of rain. Your favorite team loses the big game.
Yeah, and that disappointment can really stick with you for a day or two.
It's heavy, yeah, because you had hope attached to it.
And the last two here are so common for anyone learning something new. Confused and bored.
Right. Confused is that mental block. You're reading a difficult book or you're listening to people speaking English really, really fast. And the key for you, the listener, is that it's okay to feel confused. You can signal that politely.
Right, by saying something like, could you say that a little slower?
Exactly. And then boredom, having nothing to do on a long, rainy day. But the coping strategy the source mentioned was a bit surprising.
Yeah, it wasn't just call a friend.
No, it was clean the house. The idea is that even if cleaning isn't fun, it's productive. And that feeling of accomplishment afterward can actually turn boredom into a sense of pride.
That's a great life hack. So this is all fantastic, but how do these feelings help us connect with other people? That seems to be the focus of this last section.
That's where the knowledge becomes really valuable, in how we apply it socially. We build connections by saying things like, I am so happy for you, when a friend has good news, is sharing their joy.
And we show empathy through sympathy. But this is where the sources spend a lot of time on one specific word that trips people up. Sorry.
It causes so much confusion because it has two totally different jobs in English. The first is an apology. It's for your own mistake. I'm sorry I stepped on your foot.
Okay, that's clear. I did something wrong.
But the second use is for sympathy, for a situation that is not your fault at all. I'm sorry you are sad. That's not an apology. It's an expression of care. Understanding that difference is absolutely vital.
It's basically saying, I see your pain and I'm with you.
Precisely. And that feeling is so closely connected to being worried. The source called it a small, quiet, nervous feeling. You worry about your sister being late because you care about her. That worry comes directly from love, which the material called the biggest feeling of all.
The strength of the connection determines the strength of the worry. And speaking of complexity, we have to talk about mixed feelings.
Because in real life, you're almost never feeling just one thing. It's so important to be able to say that. You can be tired but happy after a fun day at the beach, or nervous but excited before a big presentation.
It's more honest, really.
It is. And just to round things out, the material also mentioned energetic after a great night's sleep, and its extreme opposite, exhausted-like, completely drained after moving boxes all day, and of course, amused when something is just genuinely funny.
And one more important one, lonely.
Right. That sad feeling of being alone, maybe in a new city. But again, the coping strategies all come back to action and connection. Call someone, go for a walk, find other people. Action is the enemy of loneliness.
This has been such a comprehensive deep dive. I think the core message that's coming through is that all feelings are okay, they're normal, and just being able to name them, using that simple I am or I feel structure, is a huge first step.
It is. And to make sure these ideas really stick, let's just quickly review the 5 words the source material really wanted everyone to focus on.
Okay, let's lock them in.
First, excited, that very happy feeling about something in the future.
Second, nervous. That little bit of worry, that tension, that's usually temporary.
Third, relaxed, calm, peaceful, the opposite of stressed.
Fourth, proud. That internal prize you feel for an accomplishment.
And fifth, remembering its 2 jobs. Apology for your mistake and sympathy for someone else's pain.
A fantastic tour through the language of our feelings. We've gone from simple physical states all the way to these complex, mixed emotions.
And this all leads to a question for you to think about, a way to apply this. Think about your own week. What is one specific thing that made you feel genuinely happy? Was it a simple pleasure, like a good meal, or a moment of pride from finishing a task? And how did that one feeling change your outlook for the rest of the day?
That reflection is where the real learning happens. Whether we had a great week or a week that was difficult and confusing, just remember that all of that is normal. The important thing is you now have more tools to name and understand what you're feeling. Keep learning, keep practicing, and we'll be back soon with another deep dive.